same mindset, their same habits, their same whatever. It just continues. We see the man that goes from one addiction maybe to another. He may go from alcohol over into drugs. Maybe he goes to porn, but it may be a different called a different thing, but it's addiction. And food. People can be addicted to food and weigh 500 pounds. That's an addiction.
Why is everybody looking at me?
We did not look at you.
Keep going. Okay. That wasn't right.
That wasn't nice of you to say that.
And we've seen people go from church to church to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are they hunting for? They're hunting for something to make them
Feel good.
feel good, or
Don't have to do anything.
they want change without doing,
Right.
submitting any kind of,
Right.
their mind, submitting their body, submitting to whatever God has for
No
them.
commitment.
But we'll go from this church to this church
Yeah.
to this church to this church. And
Until they
I
do
think
what
it's
they
where,
want.
what I'm talking about is they just get stuck in a cycle here. Because maybe God's asking them, you need to change X, Y, and Z. You need to quit gossiping. You need to quit hanging out with somebody that is a bad influence. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they've refused to do what God is wanting to bring them into a new thing. And they're just unwilling to do that. And therefore they just go, they want the preacher to do it all for them. Lay hands on me.
Oh, yeah.
Give me something that I won't have to do anything. I won't have to pray. Won't have to look. Won't have to reflect. And it'll all be taken care of. And we see that. Okay, they just refuse the change that God asked of them. And that's pretty much. I thought that's what I wanted to say. But here's some final thoughts. If you are not moving, you're not transitioning. Transition is all about movement. Now, it don't have to be physical movement, but a movement in some area in your life. And we want to transition from old wine to new wine. Old wine, when it's old enough, can just turn to vinegar. Can just turn old sour vinegar. And latter glory isn't just a reset, it's a new beginning. And I think people miss that sometimes. You can still have the same old, you have the same old door that needs to be fixed, it needs to be updated, it needs new hinges, and they want to put a coat of paint on it. Well, that isn't a new door. All that is just, it just looks better. It's a covering. Yeah, just a cover up. And so we have to make sure if we just go and change one little thing, that we're really doing what God wants to do, that we're not just trying to reset what we already know. And, honestly, I think people in churches get into that. Oh, we need a new program. We need a new.
Working, so
It's the same thing, except we're calling it something different.
Yeah.
We're not having a Bible study from this particular individual, but we're having it from this one. And when maybe what we need to do is, not have a Bible study, is have something else, not knock on doors, or not just invite people, not send out flyers. It's just they need to get a hold of a whole different mindset sometimes of what they're doing, not just let's just do the same thing and call it something different and reset. Okay, and I would ask y'all to ask God to show you more of His goodness. Because I think there's just so many layers. I think it's like a diamond. It's all a diamond. But depending on which way the light hits it, depends on which facet it hits, it has a different look. And so I think that's what goodness is. I think it's just different facets of probably the biggest diamond we've never seen. And beautifully cut, and depending on everything and every person that looks at it, it's going to look different. And so I think goodness is going to look different to each one of us. It'll be the same, but it'll have a distinct flavor for each of us. So I would ask that you all ask to be given a new perspective of His goodness and His glory. I feel like we've been working in that kind of a transition mode on Fridays. You know, we've been trying to step into the new thing, and it was a little, not scary, not the right word, but there was a weight on it because you didn't want to mess it up. Like, oh, I want to make sure God really told me that, not just that it's my brain telling me stuff, you know. And so, there, and I think that's also a reason there's been an attack on our Fridays.
You want to let it go? Yeah. It's a crazy man.
So, because we haven't got to meet on our Fridays for a few Fridays, so I think that's probably an indication where we need to be on that. I want to encourage you all to embrace the next level of glory, your next new thing. We'll all have a next new thing. Okay. And Margie, we did the message first, and then the Jill today.
It's okay.
And so we can turn that off.